Carri. We are Sell It Sista, and we are here on location today at one of Omaha's new hotspots here at Barroco Wine Bar. Near Rockbrook Village in Omaha, and it's a darling little place.
It's so cute, it's so quaint, it's got such a good vibe, and this is my first time here, so I'm really excited to be here.
Exactly. It's a cool little space.
Yes.
And I'm not going to say I'm a groupie, but Heather and Tyler Ray own Barroco, and they've been open since December. It is still a little bit of a secret here in Omaha, but it's fabulous and growing. So if you have time, come check it out sometime. Today we're going to talk about work-life-home balance, if there is such a thing. I'm not sure I've ever heard a man asked if they have a good work-home life balance, but I know it's a big topic for especially realtors, because we work 365 days a year, and we are big multitaskers. So I heard somebody say once, you can't catch two rabbits at the same time, and that's kind of how I feel
Yes.
about work-life home balance. I'm not sure there is such a thing.
Yep.
But what do you guys think about balance with work and home? I'm not sure there is one.
No.
But what do you think?
Well, and it's hard with the real estate market because it's kind of feast or famine.
It is.
You know, in January, I was kind of cleaning out closet, twiddling my thumbs. Well, then come April, I don't even know that I hung any clothes up. They all laid on the chair in my bedroom. So, you know, it's just like you work when you work and you're home when you're home.
Yep.
But, you know, when you're busy, it's hard to carve out and say, no, it's Friday night, I'm going on a date night, rather than showing clients' houses
Yep.
at 7 p.m. on a Friday. That's a commitment, but you know, with this, the way this market is, unfortunately, I think we're all three choosing to work when the work's there.
Correct. For me, Carrie, I feel the exact same way. It's just, you know, I got into the business in 2005. A couple years later, the market tanked, and so it's just kind of one of those things. Like, I come from a yes place,
Yep.
and you know, you just never know, like, when's the other shoe gonna drop, and so you're just like, okay, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. So you just keep taking on, you know, everything. But you know, it's one of those things I don't ever want to complain about business, because once it slows down a little bit, I'm like twiddling my thumbs, like wondering if anything's ever going to happen again.
Am I going to make my numbers?
Yeah.
Am I going to do this? But
yeah, and I feel like the one thing, I forget who I heard it from. It might have been Buffini, Brian Buffini, but I felt like he might have said, so it's not about work-life balance, it's about work-life balancing. And to me, what that means is that, you know, I'm not always going to be balanced every single day, but hopefully if I can try to balance out throughout the year, even throughout the month or whatever, then I still consider myself somewhat winning. I mean, and luckily for me, I've got, you know, a husband he's a contractor, so he's not in real estate, but he definitely, you know, lives and dies by, you know, the real estate market and understands the ebbs and flows. And so I do appreciate he is very patient with me for the most part, of like, this is my busy season, this is my busy time. And, you know, and his busy times are usually around Thanksgiving and Christmas, because everyone wants their remodels done by those dates.
Yes.
Okay. And by the end of the year.
And by the end of the year. So it's just kind of, I want to be able to entertain for the holidays. So he always has these huge pushes. Yeah, and so it's just kind of one of those things where it's like, you know, traditionally for real estate, the springs are crazy times. So you know what, if he's got to pick up the girls more often, feed them dinner more often, then, you know, it's like, that's what happens. And then, you know, I kind of pick up the slack, you know, during the holidays, because traditionally we are usually a little bit slower during the holidays. So, you know, I'm very lucky having that partner in place who helps me out immensely with that.
Right. It makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
And that was part of the reason I always wanted to get into real estate, but I didn't get into real estate till my youngest was in 4th grade, because my husband traveled at the time, so I was the go-to, and I was like, and everybody was in sports and ballet and dance. So, you know, there was just no way that I could have done it on my own at that time. So waiting till at least the kids could stay at home by themselves for a little bit if I ran, or did whatever, but it's just, it's a decision you conscientiously make. And, some people can manage it because you have a husband that's home all the time. And then, other people, there's single moms like
mine. I was like,
doing
single
it.
mom, how does single mom do it? Because I don't know how I could do it being a single mom.
Right.
Well, and that's the thing is that, I chose this career to balance out the work life and then of course things go crazy. And I think, we have to learn to prioritize, your priorities, not let your schedule prioritize your life. But I'll tell you, there is so much mom guilt that comes with full-time working, and you're working 60, 80 hours a week when the markets happen, and then there's other weeks where you're only working 10 to 20 hours just doing marketing and network and being the CEO of your company. But there's a lot of mom guilt. And what does balance look like? Well, I think there's a lot of strategies that we have to use, but in the early days, you're right. You are, yes, let's go. Yes, I'll do it. Yes, I'll sell a house Christmas Day. But there's other times where you're like, that soccer game is time blocked on your schedule. And I think that's a really good strategy about balance. Like, if you have to put your workout on your calendar and that is blocked out. Like, great, I don't work out. Like, it's a win if my legs get shaved in a week. But I think time blocking is one of those big strategies that we have to use as busy working moms. I know when you have your grandson, he's either coming to work with you or you're like, your day is blocked out with River. And it's the same with me. Like, if I have somewhere that I have to be with the kids, like, it might be a game outside and it's beautiful and I could still take calls and texts, but I have to time block that so that I'm not jumping ship to go show houses.
Yeah, I live and die by my calendar, and that's the only way I'm able to make life work. And you know what? And seriously, and it is for me, we try, it's just kind of one of those things, try to be home at least maybe 3 times a night or 3 times a week for dinner. Because again, I got 2 young kids, so just want to definitely instill that in them. And then, but it's just like, I don't care. That's an appointment. And whatever it is, and don't be apologetic for it. That's an appointment, whether that's a work appointment, a life appointment. That's an appointment, and that's really, I feel like, all that really needs to be said.
Well, but it is a challenge right now because years ago you could say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I already have a commitment," and people would be like, "That's fine, let's go tomorrow at 10." Well, with the fast-moving market of today, unfortunately, there's no moving till tomorrow. It's getting it all done today and going now. And the fear is, yes, you build a rapport with these clients, but if they want to see it, they want to see it, whether or not they're going to go to another agent, you're going to refer them to a partner or someone else in the office. But so it has changed.
I would say that aspect of just the intensity of the market is the hardest thing with what's going on.
It is, and you don't want somebody to lose something because you had something to do. I can't tell you how many times. My little guy, he comes into a listing now and he'll flip on the lights and he is a regular Vanna White when it comes to these listings.
You know what?
These sometimes kids, you gotta involve your kids. And they honestly, they don't mind coming with me to some of these showings and coming to the office, and
because it's actually cool because mom's at work.
And you were like, if mom sells this house, we're going on vacation, or you're getting the new tennis shoes that are the cool kid thing.
I thought it was the sweetest. We were sitting down for dinner last night, and Emma was asking, what's going on, or our new thing is, how was your day?
Oh, cute.
And so she asked me how my day was, and it was actually on Monday because I had a listing go under contract on Monday, and I'm like, well, my day was very good. Mommy sold a house, and she's just like, oh, Mommy, if you'd sell another house, my heart would be so happy. And I'm like, oh, well, let me get on that now.
Let's make that happen.
It's just like, she's starting to understand and get, which is super cute.
And some of that stuff, when you ask your kids, like, what was your favorite part of the summer? And they tell you, it was going on vacation, or it was doing this. And you know that all that hard work that you really have juggled your life and your work balance, it really has paid off. All that time that you have spent, this brings us to another point, like, something else, like to balance your home life work balance, is take a vacation and schedule time for yourself, because when you do schedule that time for playtime
Right.
or you time, you become more motivated and inspired to be inspired at work
Right.
and keep that balance.
And the other thing is too, if you ever are a little bit of a lull in real estate, plan a vacation.
You'll never get
Somehow
busier.
you will get so busy and you will just, you're running around frantic, but it's like, what do I got to do to get out of this?
Yes.
Plan a vacation.
Exactly.
I don't know what it is, but it doesn't matter who it is. Everyone's like, oh, plan a vacation. Now I'm busier than ever.
Okay, tell me like the lessons you've learned since, and I don't think this matters what career you're in, but tell me the lessons you've learned about urgency versus importance as far as work-life balance, because I'm a list maker and I know you are too, but I think there's a real difference about putting out fires and urgency versus importance, and like
Well, and
things
I think
that
that's
can
the other
wait.
thing too is, it's managing clients' expectations, because they may think this is urgent.
Right.
And you're like, no, that's very important, but it's not an on fire situation, nor does it need my immediate attention. And so it's, it's just kind of one of those things where I think hopefully that's just having the good rapport with your client of just being like, yes, I will address this, I will get to this, but I don't know, like they may say I understand you, but they,
Right. And not everything is the end of the world.
No.
Once you're under contract and a miscellaneous addendum has to be signed, some people will, skip out on dinner to get that signed when very well we're under contract. It needs to be signed, but maybe it can wait till tomorrow so I can give my daughter a bath and read her her bedtime story.
Exactly.
Yeah, and
So-
I think there's something to be said about actually unplugging for dinner, unplugging, until the kids are in bed. I think dishes can wait. I know a lot of parents, can't think straight until the dishes are done and the floors are clean, and but I think a lot of that stuff, I know Irma Bombeck, you are probably too young, but
I have no idea who you just said.
she was a comedian, author, and she said, you can't get back the time that you could have played on the floor with the kids, but
True.
the dishes could wait.
Yep.
Exactly.
And I think that's so important.
And I'm getting much better than that. I mean, that is very much my personality. If I like everything clean, tidy, put away, then I can kind of relax and de-stress and like devote all my time and attention versus like this nagging thing going on. But I mean, guess what? They're still going to be there tomorrow.
Yep.
Exactly.
And, my babies, they're growing up fast.
And the older I get, the more I'm learning to let go. Let go some of that mom guilt. There's always going to be a Pinterest mom out there that's superwoman, that's doing it better, that's doing it all, that's putting together the posters and the classroom projects better than you, and
I praise them.
Yes,
I say
I
thank
do
you
too.
so much.
God
Yeah.
bless them.
God
God
bless
bless
you.
them.
Yeah.
You're like, I'll write the check to have the cookies.
What do you?
I'll bring the cookies in so they get frosting there.
And as much as I try, I may never be that mom, but
I've already conceded or said I'm okay because I'm not that mom. But you know what? I'm being a mom in different areas. So I hate to say it. It's like when my girls grow up, I probably won't be the mom who's constantly there at the school, who's volunteering for everything. And I get a ton of joy and my personal self-worth from my work.
Right.
And I also know I cannot be a stay-at-home mom. And so I've let go of that guilt and I'm totally okay with it. And again, I praise those moms who can do it. But personally for me, that's not me. I'm a better mom because I work. And so I'm a better mom and I'm okay saying, no, I can't do that. I'm working, I'm doing this, but I'm able to provide to my kids in various different ways.
Correct. And it's all about what you want and what's your expectation. like I said, I didn't get into real estate till my youngest was in 4th grade. And I got into it because paying for college and all the fun stuff and vacations.
Yep.
Yeah. And then when my grandson was going to be born, my daughter has to work. And I said, I will commit to 2 days a week for his first year because I want to. And that's why I'm in real estate, is for the flexibility.
Yep.
And he is my priority, and I love it. And, everybody's been understanding. And, and thank God I have a partner, and she can pick up, as in my daughter, in real estate, and she can pick up where I leave off. But most people are like, oh my God, it's okay if he comes, or I'll meet you at 6.
Yeah.
I haven't had an issue yet, but it's only been 3 months, so who knows what the winter's going to bring. But that was my priority, is spending time with him, having the relationship with him, since Taylor couldn't do it. And it gives me so much joy, and I'm a better person. But today I had a contract to turn in, and when he came, I was like, I was going to get that done early. And I didn't get it done early because I laid in bed. And so
that was lack of prioritizing.
Yes, it
for
was.
you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, at first he was playing on the floor, playing, and I was on my computer, and then he starts making noise. And I'm like, you know what? He is going to nap.
Yes.
This can wait
Yes.
an hour, so I can sit on the floor and play with him. And I loved it, and I did it, and I got everything done, and my day's okay.
You know what? I also find I'm actually far more effective the busier I am.
Yeah, me too. Yes.
I love
Yes.
a good list. So
Yes.
there's nothing more satisfying than crossing something off.
Oh, yeah.
I may even put take a shower on the list just because I get across it all.
Well, I think another strategy of this balance goes into know your strengths.
Yeah.
Like, are you a morning person? Are you a night owl?
Right.
Yep.
If you are best in the morning, set your alarm, get up, make your bed, check off the to-do list,
Yeah.
set that routine. If you're not good until 11 o'clock at night, then spend the afternoon and evening with your kids, and then get everything done at night. Write your thank you notes, right?
Because the other thing is
making
too,
your lists.
Yeah. The other thing is too, for me, it's like, again, when I'm busier, I just have to power through that list.
Yeah.
And for me, it's also so another thing that I always remember, I don't know where I heard this from, but eat the frog.
Yep.
And eat
Yep.
the frog
Yep.
is
Love
do
that.
the thing you want to do least the first. And then once that's off your list, you're like, oh, I just accomplished the day. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. I ate the frog. It's done. And it's amazing how much you can power through all the rest of the things.
Well, and not doing that is a time suck because you worry about
You
it, you
think
dwell
about
on
it.
it, you go over the worst case scenarios.
Yep.
I have always been, I've tried to teach my children and my husband, if it's something bad, you deliver that news. Don't drag it on.
Nope.
Just get it over. We all have bad things happen at certain times in the week. Disappoint people in their mind, not in our mind. We're all doing the best we can.
Yeah.
But, you got to come clean and say that, this didn't happen or it's not going to work out or whatever.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Well, and the other thing is too, it's like, whether you're delivering bad news, let's say, to a client, it's just kind of one of those things. I'm also like, you're gonna know right away when this is happening.
Correct.
I may not know what's going to happen next, but at least I'm gonna have some ideas and solutions set up in place of
when I make that
hey,
call.
this is what's happening right now. I don't know what's happening next. I need to get this more information. Then I can further update you. And I just feel like it's versus saying, okay, well, the deal's completely dead. It's like, well, did you know about that before? It's like, most likely you did. You had an
And like with everything in life, real estate, kids, home, whatever, it's about your attitude and your conflict resolution. And if we all keep our positive attitude at the time and try to come up with positive scenarios, it's all typically going to work out. I mean, sure, there are occasional shit shows that don't ever happen, and that's at home and work.
Yes.
But if you stay positive, think of positive resolutions, usually there's a positive outcome.
I agree.
Well, and how you prepare
Yeah.
and how you react.
Correct.
That to me brings us to kind of what I think is one of the final strategies about the balance, and that's working smarter, not harder.
Exactly.
Now, I know the three of us really kind of pride ourselves on working smarter, not harder.
Yep.
And that's not necessarily just selling higher dollar homes, making more commission, because I don't think that's any of our MOs.
Right.
You working smarter. So how do we do that? We ask for help from other people.
Correct.
I also plan out my day, and as
your
much
day.
as I can, I try to plan a driving route. I feel like in real
I
estate,
do
that's
too.
probably
I do
one of
too.
the biggest time sucks
Yep.
ever.
Yep.
Is if I'm going to Elkhorn to Bellevue to Bennington back to Papillion, like it's gotta work better.
Yeah.
And if you just take a little bit of time to think about it, you can make that route work so much better, and it's amazing how much more efficient your day is.
Right. Well, and if anybody ever is looking for real estate and then you're not fortunate enough to work with the three of us, when I have a listing and I get a sign call and they're like, I want to see the house, I'm here now, how soon can you be here? I will not go show that house or meet that client until they send me their pre-approval letter.
Yep.
I cannot waste my time on someone that's not pre-approved. And a few times they'll be like, oh, I'm good for the money, I'm going to work on it, no. I want to see it. I want to know you're doing it in this fast-paced market. 5 years ago, I could have, but I wouldn't have. But in today's market, I had a listing that was priced, in the low price point. And one day, I got 5 different calls, and not one of those 5 people was pre-approved. And so I just
You could
didn't
have
show
ran there 5 times.
And I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. And maybe I lost a client and they called somebody else, but my time is valuable. I'm not going to, be that person jumping.
You
And
have to work
so if anybody calls the listing agent, they ask you a few questions and they say, oh, I can't show it without a pre-approval letter. We are just trying to do what's best for us and our family, and being a pre-approved buyer is the way to get into houses.
Yeah.
Well, and technology's a great way too to work smarter. I mean, we work mostly electronically and paperless in this market.
Correct.
And I think that's true of most businesses, even besides real estate these days.
Correct.
You really can. You can market electronically. You can sign contracts electronically. I mean, social media is on fire.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's no going back from it.
Well, just today, Good Morning America said people are getting jobs by doing TikTok videos and sending them to the CEOs or the owners or whatever. And I'm like, there you go.
I'm not there yet.
Yeah, I don't even. I thought TikTok was a dancing thing. I didn't know. You learn how to do
there's
hair
a lot of
stuff.
social media I gotta learn. I
I'm
don't
not
know.
there, but it was just kind of interesting, and it's just like, okay, that's better than the Elle Woods video message that she did to Harvard to get into med school or law school.
Yes.
So, but it's just different avenues. But again, it's about prioritizing, time blocking, and not being a time suck.
Yeah.
And
valuing your time. We can make just about more of anything except for time.
Correct.
And
Correct.
that is so important. Time is so important. And your kids are now growing out of the house. Yours are knocking on the door.
Correct.
And it's kind of one of those things where it's like, I feel like having a 4 and a 1-year-old, like, oh God, that's so far away. But it's going to go fast. And
Happens
it's
overnight.
I got to love on those babies while
Yes,
I
I totally agree.
The career is so important. Our why is all about our legacy and loving these kids and grandkids and bringing that legacy forward into their lives in the future. And this life-home work balance is so important.
Yes.
I love you, ladies. We are Sell It Sister.
Cheers. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.